So when the government decides to collect more than what it needs or plans to spend, at this time the supply of money declines, which lowers the demand, also which lowers the inflation, however hurting the employment pattern in the country. However, this time it's better to make a tax incentives for some specific companies which have a higher or larger production in the country in order to maintain the supply when the demand grows. The other one is reducing the tax rate. When the government decides to take a lesser amount of taxes than what it really needs. This time the government needs more money, or he wants to expend this money, a lot amount of money, however it collects less from the market. This will inject the money in the market or in the hands of individuals in the form of government expenditure. However, the government will not take back the money from individuals in the form of tax, because it will collect a lesser amount of tax this time. So how can a government gives more than it collects? Because this time we will see a tax is not the only form of or way of collecting revenue for the government. The government can take a lot amount of money, or he can finance its deficit in the form of any other way. If the government doesn't want to collect more money in the form of tax, he can collect or get the money using different options, such as by printing new currencies, by borrowing. These are called deficit financing, because when the revenue is less, the tax revenue is less than the expenditure or the need for the government, this will create a deficit, which is called a budget deficit, and financing this deficit is called a deficit financing. Think of it, what will happen when the government print a new currency just to finance its deficit? This will highly dilute the purchasing power of the currency. Just we look at it further in the next videos, for example when we see exchange rates or any other topics. However, when the money supply from the start, the money supply in the market was, think of it, a government doesn't have any money. All of the government capital was zero, but the money in the market was only $100, or the money in the country available is $100. Listing the government to $25 in the form of tax. This means the government now has. So when you take 25 of it, it will become $75 remains in the market or in the hands of individuals. This is the government revenue in the form of tax. However, the government wants to spend $50, but it plans only to take or to collect 25 of it. There might be different reasons why the government collects $25 when he wants $50, but let's assume the government took 25 of it only. At this time, government doesn't have enough money what you want to invest or spend. We can say that we have $25 deficit, which is the excess of expenditure above revenue in the form of tax.